Okay, Crystal here, and I'm going to talk to you about something very important today. Me! Okay, well, it's been a long time since I've done the What I Want in a Significant Other videos. I did those from Boulder, Colorado. I had just left a 15-year relationship, and I was dating quite a bit, and oddly so, really kind of vacuous dating, let's call it. No disrespect to you girls. I'll be disrespecting you later. You know, but not by name. I won't be disrespecting you per se. I'll be saying what brought, let me see if this is still on so I can have, you know, kind of like that thing, you need a Twix? I didn't know a lot of things about myself, and which I learned through dating. One of the gals I was with in the last year said, how can you find yourself in the arms of another? Well, I did. I found out that parts of me I didn't like, parts of me I had lost that I didn't know I'd lost, and not just my boobs. That was so funny! Laughter ensued. So I kind of lost some self-esteem pretty much, because in my 20s, you know, I think I had that. So I was a little shocked to find that I would go to gatherings with, you know, the elusive lesbian woman, and I couldn't talk to him. So even thinking of it made me speechless, which is really weird because I am fairly intelligent. I love to talk to people. I walk up to strangers and say things to try to make their day better. I'm very outgoing and social, so the idea of me not being able to talk to a woman that might want to kiss me was quite a shock for me to realize. It was like, wow, so I'm a 14-year-old boy at heart. Oh my God. So anyway, it's now a long time after that. I moved back to Montana, and I came back to Montana because of a woman I'd met online, and I'm from Montana. I'm a fourth-generation Montanan, and let's see, we'll talk about that later. Yes, I am a redneck, yes, I am a hillbilly and all that, but, you know, if I had to label myself, I just went on a tangent, I know. I would call myself a new age lesbian. You know, I'm into alternative medicine. Spiritually, I believe in the Great Spirit. I pray every day, talk to angels, archangels. Anyway, if you're not into that stuff, you might want to shut this off now. Okay. Oh gosh, where was it? Oh yes, I come back to Montana. I met this woman. It was a, what I felt was a twin flame experience. It was a wonderful connection that seemed to be isolated in certain circumstance. I don't really want to talk about that situation at this time, but I learned a lot about me, and one of the things I learned is that being a lesbian in Montana, and two, I learned this a little bit in Boulder, I didn't really realize that I had a type. You know, I thought, because in Montana, it's like, oh, you're a lesbian, I'm a lesbian, you know, you want to kiss, right? Because, you know, and we didn't really have the internet sort of thing going on back when I was single, back in the day, you know, 15 years ago or whatever. So, I realized that I wasn't attracted to women who looked like me. And I don't consider myself butch by any means, though quite a few people do online because of things they say like my hairline and, you know. But the thing is that I like to be... if I'm going to laugh at it, I mean, no, I do like to be feminine. I consider myself... Oh, screw it. I'm not feminine, but I'm not masculine either. I mean, I'm very, you know, emotional. And it's funny, in my last relationship, she was a lot more feminine than me. She wore makeup and her hair just so, and I was very attracted to that. Very attracted to darker hair, very attracted to certain eyes and a look that I didn't know I really had a type. And I am attracted to feminine women, which I didn't realize before because I wasn't really around that necessarily. And I think in my last, like, long-term relationship, I presented myself. I met her when I was 26 years old, so I kind of presented myself probably as more feminine. I mean, I had the bigger hair, and I had permed hair and earrings, and so it wasn't really the tomboy self that I was, so that could have been part of our issue, but won't talk about those issues just yet. Yeah. I really am over that. It's just that I'm not, in a way of, you know, I miss the friendship. I miss her as my best friend. So, hoping this last girl I can keep as my friend, but it's like, when I was in high school, actually it was a couple years after high school, one of my cousins, and I know I just went on a tangent here, but she was sitting behind me in the theater, and I had 3 women sitting next to me. Then they were friends. One of them I think I was dating. And she tapped me on the shoulder at the theater, and she said, you know, the difference between, like me dating and you dating is like, you're sitting there with all your exes, and everybody's like friends. She said if she was with her guy friend exes, they'd all kill each other. And so, you know, the friendship was something I always had, and this last one, to not have that friendship, it's shocking. Not the last woman I've been seeing on and off for a year, but the last long-term relationship. So I would hope that, well, that they would both end up being my friends, but I definitely want to be friends with this woman because I don't just say I love you and fall into that intimate place of, you know, wow, and then I feel all twin flame and all just, you know, incredible, and then not want those people in my life as a friend just because I'm not kissing them. I don't love them in a vacuum, per se, you know, just under certain circumstances. I love them and I care about them, whether or not we're still getting naked or not. I do care. So I do keep my exes in my life if they want to be there and if they can be there. My last long-term relationship, she has decided she cannot be. I haven't seen her in a year and a half. So just know that about me. I do have exes in my life, and if I wanted to be with them, I would be with them, but I want to be with you. See? So yes, what was I saying then? About my type. So I found out that I had a type. Apparently I like women with, yes, darker hair, more feminine. I tend to be attracted to women who are a little bit shorter than me. Again, I always thought that it was just, you know, to me the most important thing is having the same spiritual beliefs similar. And the same kind of basic lifestyle, and, you know, it tends to be a huge lifestyle difference that I'm into alternative medicine, and if I'm with somebody who's like into the prescription drug industry, for example, because it's a mindset and it's a difference it really is a basic difference that I didn't realize was so hard to kind of meld, but it kind of is. And I like to, you know, work out, and I love, one of my favorite things to do is just drive around in the mountains, you know, with the heater on, because it's usually chilly, and, you know, the windows down, and just listening to music and watching for critters. Yeah, just call me LMA. And I like being in the mountains and on the rivers and just, you know, kind of in constant prayer and contemplation with nature and Mother Earth and you know, my own guides and spirits, and I try to stay spiritually connected all the time and do work for the greater good. Talk about that later. This is also a video series to get to know myself for me, because I've come to know me. I've been wandering around kind of for a year and a half by myself. I went to Key West for a while, Kona for a while, Portland, Seattle. You know, in my relationship, we kind of just hung out at home. We were on the computers. We were behind a locked gate for years, just kind of working. And what I mean by locked gate is that, you know, we would go to the store, go to the movie, or do things, but then we would come back and we would just do our own thing. We kind of wanted that. I had a real estate company on Main Street for a decade, and just kind of burned out on real estate, and so I just kind of went into internet marketing, and we'll talk about that another time. But sometimes this thing goes off, and I'm just still babbling, you know. So, and then I forget where I was at. I'm really not like an absent-minded professor, but at any rate, being in that situation, I kind of lost things. When I headed out for that year, I really wasn't even that good at driving on the freeway. I'd like lost some, not necessarily motor skills, but I'd lost some skills, some talking skills even, some words. Like, you know how older folks get sometimes, I guess people think it's like they slip into this mental thing because they're older. I think they slip into this mental thing because sometimes because they don't talk to people. So I was like saying words wrong. I know, it sounds weird, it's kind of hard to explain, but I wasn't talking, and you said, yeah, wasn't I talking to my girlfriend? Sadly enough, I don't think we did talk a whole lot. We didn't really walk a lot, we didn't go do things a lot, we weren't really lovers, but we were very close, and again, I wasn't going to talk about that, because obviously I'm over it. I'm not saying that I want that relationship back. I want to be with someone new. I am fully ready to be with somebody new. It's just that it saddens me to not have that friendship, because she was my best friend and my business partner. We were alone together 24 hours a day, every day, you know, years on end, and it was a big loss for me. And also in that, you know, I lost the pets, I lost the house, I lost kind of everything, and so it was kind of a big lifestyle blow in many, many ways, and so it does make me sad. I am not sad about it when you see me tearing up, because I want that back. I am ready to be in a relationship. I told a friend of mine the other day, it's like, I said, well, you know what, I'm ready to be married again. And she's like, a straight friend, she said, well, how do you know that? I said, well, I am. I'm ready to have somebody in my bed. I'm ready to have somebody that, you know, I know that I'm ready to be in a relationship, but at the same time, I don't want to lose the me that I found. And I know that's kind of cliche, but I like to walk. I like to go to the coffee shop for hours every few days and write and be alone. I like to work out. I like to turn on the music and just dance whenever I want and not necessarily be subject to someone else around. I realize there's compromises when you're living with somebody, but I don't want to lose me, suppress me, change me based on someone else's belief system. And the old me, challenges that I still face, is to let that person influence me. So basically whatever their needs are, their friends, their situation, I tend to just pause, because I want that, that lover thing. So yes, it's sexual, but that intimate embrace with them. So I kind of alter me a bit, so I suppress me. I'm very verbal. I like to talk a lot, but I haven't really been with a partner that I have talked to a lot, that I'll talk to for hours on the phone, say, at least once a week if we're long distance, or, you know, flirting on the phone, or I haven't been with a lover that has stayed my lover more than a year, intimately. I don't know if that really exists. If you can stay in a passion, sexual, friendship, relationship long term. I met this gal in Boulder. She's been in this 20-year relationship, but she said that monogamy was a myth, and that her partner and her had this agreement, and well, I have company, so I will continue this later. But at any rate, email me, email me at lesbian@outlesbian.com, and let me know how in love with me you are. Okay, bye.